Groceries are expensive. The meat section, even more so. And there is nothing worse than paying all that money for a great steak or firm tofu only to have it turn out dry, chewy, and flavorless. My name is Angela, and I was a chef for over a decade. In that time, I learned many methods of enhancing protein to get great flavor and a juicy texture out of them. Today, I am going to show you a few of those methods so that you can get great flavor from your proteins for just pennies. With a few simple methods and ingredients, you can prepare delicious proteins like chicken, beef, pork, and even vegan proteins like tofu. In the next few minutes, I'm going to teach you these simple methods and ingredients to make these amazing proteins and make you the master of your kitchen. Planning and preparing are the first and most important steps in this process. Planning ahead and making sure you have enough time will increase your chances of success and give you the best results. The Chefs at Cooks Illustrated in a recent article said that the protein fibers take time to break down. It does it through the process of osmosis. This process moves the salt and sugar through the protein and breaks down the fibers. This not only makes your protein more tender, but also enhances the flavor. The larger the piece of protein, the longer this process will take. That is why it is so vital that you plan ahead. After you've planned ahead and given yourself enough time, you need just a few simple ingredients: salt, sugar, and water. That's it. And there's two ways that you can do this: the wet method and the dry method. In the encyclopedia for meat, they say the best recipe for the wet method consists of a quart of water, 4 tablespoons of salt, and 1 tablespoon of sugar. If your protein is bigger, you may need more. Just use the same ratio. The salt and sugar need to be dissolved in the water. You can do this by whisking it in cold water until it dissolves, or you can pour the salt and sugar into the boiling water. But if you do this, make sure that you cool the water back down before you put your protein in it. Never put your protein in hot water, as it can cause foodborne illnesses. For the dry method, you need a teaspoon of sugar to 2 tablespoons of salt. Rub it generously into your protein, making sure you massage it in really well. When you have everything prepared, it's time to let the salt and the sugar do their magic. The wet method is great for pork and chicken and will keep your protein moist no matter what the preparation is. There are just a few rules to the wet method. Make sure that the protein is completely submerged in the water through the whole process. If your protein floats to the top of the water, you can use a plate to hold it down. Make sure that your container has no leaks, and make sure that you keep it covered during the entire process. For small pieces, you need that's for chicken breasts or thin cut pork chops, you need about 2 hours. For bigger pieces of meat like chicken, turkey, or tenderloin, they need about 24 hours. The only time that you don't want to use the dry method is when you're cooking with beef. You do not want to use the wet method with beef. You can use the dry method though, and it works great for beef and all the other proteins. And there's one more ingredient in the dry method that's very important, and that's air. After you give your protein a good rub down in the salt and sugar, place it on a cooling rack inside of your refrigerator. This is to make sure that all the surfaces of the protein get plenty of air. And make sure there is something underneath to catch anything that might drip. Leave it uncovered in your refrigerator. Again, a few hours for smaller pieces like chicken breast or tiny pork chops, and 24 hours for the larger pieces. One more vital step in this protein process is to let it rest when it's done cooking. When your protein comes out of the pan or the oven, the juices in it are still circulating and they haven't calmed down yet. The best thing to do is let it sit for 5 to 10 minutes before you slice into it. This ensures that every bite is juicy. So now you know the simple methods and cheap ingredients to make your proteins delicious and tender. You can make a fantastic meal no matter your income or your skill level, and you can do it with ingredients that you already have around the house. I encourage you to try these the next time it's your turn to make dinner. Thank you.